Here for one. That's fine. Obviously a little bit clunky, but we'll manage. Six plus 8, 14. Lava spike to our opponent. Alright, so we're likely up against prowess.
Towards the end, like right before, right after it got sent, like he was like, I need a picture to show this person that it was sent because I'm going to pick something up, blah 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 blah. And it's just like and very, very, very pushy.
We're actually up against creativity, it looks like. So I suspect they have a run on 6 ticks here.
Yeah, I didn't want to call mom and dad because I figured if you were asking me, you were not wanting them to.
All right. Shut off the reanimation plan.
Should be able to. Oh, you're trying to be a woman. Got it. Yeah, we'll find out. I know my stuff sends to you, so it just takes a little longer.
So this is fine on the draw, a little bit risky, but fine.
Yep. Oh.
Let's gotta pick your poison, huh?
Well, that's why, I mean, we figured, that's why we were like, well, if this is legit and he really needs it, then.
Mm-hmm.
Tom's currently trying to get her juice to record, and I can hear his voice, so. Okay. Love you.
Okay, we're dead. Mm-hmm. Guess I'll play first. Obviously, one-hander is risky on the draw, but or on the play, but I have a pretty good opener here, so. Land. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if they have creativity here, they're dead. Alright, we're back for match number 2. Hand is perfectly reasonable. We're going to go ahead and lean on Sacred Foundry here just to get the white source out of the way. Burn Mirror, possibly. Okay, well, that makes this play turn considerably easier. Okay. It's burn or something. Burn, prowess. Feels like it might be creativity again. Because this isn't the mana base you would see out of Scam. And if it were prowess, first off, I don't know of any Rakdos prowess list currently. And even if there were, they likely would have played a creature by now. So we're kind of going to sideboard how we did last game against creativity. Not 100% sold that it's creativity, but it does make the most sense from what we saw. Because that's not a Jund mana base, that's not a burn or prowess start, so my money is likely on creativity. So the opponent's in an awkward spot. They probably need that fatal push, but at the same time, didn't want to fetch it away, so... Opponent was either trying to bluff a bolt or has bolt, and they're going to... Nope. Does look like we are in fact up against creativity. Yep. Mm-hmm. No reason to attack because the fatal push we know about. Mm-hmm. All right. Bloop. Bloop. GG's. Well played. Match 3. Perfectly reasonable keep. So we're keeping. Spike into Eidolon. Okay. Well. Not the best of hands against specifically either the mirror or prowess, so. Kind of in a weird spot where I have to do this weird like dance with Lava Spike Skewer. Okay, so it is just the burn mirror. Hits us for 4 basically. The good news / bad news is we are pre-sideboarded for the mirror. The bad news is we are pre-sideboarded for the mirror, so. Bloop. This will incentivize our opponent to use any spells they might have. Sure. Mm-hmm. Alright. Somehow we stole the win. Okay, this Roiling Vortex is trash in there. Alright. That in. Sanctifier is a trap. Roiling Vortex isn't good. Mirror Terror is trap. So I guess it's literally just like one Path to Exile in, one Eidolon out. Yeah. This is one of those hands that's like, do you keep this hand? I think this hand might deal us a bit too much damage, but we'll try it. Danger with this, obviously we're taking less damage by not waiting, is there was an off chance that our opponent didn't have another creature. Now our opponent just took care of everything for us by having multiple creatures, so. Downside with this hand is I think we are going to deal ourselves more damage than we can reasonably sustain the mirror match. So what is our realistic path to victory here? Bolt 6, 9, 13. I think at this point we're basically dead to a stiff breeze, so I'm just going to go ahead and play to the out of trying to kill our opponent here. Yep, I knew keeping this hand was too risky, so. We'll try it. Okay. Opponent has a Swizzle Spear. Hopefully we draw a land. Okay, we do in fact draw land. It goes to 14. Presume Riftbolt goes after one of our creatures. Yep. Okay. Opponent's drawing a bolt, so basically they're dead here. Okay, and they agree. Match 4 on play. So we are up against Zoo. This was the trophy leader for the friendly leagues last quarter. And surprisingly, they are on what they're on. So we just got to go fast and hope they don't have the absolute nuts. Game 1. Then game 2 we have copies of Wear Tear. So he could also be on Prowess by now, or they could also be on Prowess by now, so. Back to Burn, possibly? No. Burn doesn't play that, so. Play this and pass. Hold up. Squeer the Critics and Bolt. So, I mean, Swiftspear was effectively a bolt, forcing our opponent to Now we have to ask ourselves, do we want to fetch basic or do we want to fetch... We just minimize the damage we take. Okay. Hey, hey, we're the monkeys. People always monkeying around. We're too busy dashing, put anybody down. Saved by the, I was gonna say, they can't fetch shock, and they don't usually play basic islands, so. Alright, 4 copies of Eidolon out. 4 copies of Wear Tear for the combo in. And then that. Sanctifier is kind of. Sanctifier is a weird card. So, stops Ragavan, doesn't do crap against Wild Nacatl. Shuts down Territorial Kavu to a point. Doesn't do anything against Scion. And doesn't really do anything against Nishoba. So I think it's just these 5, and I'm trying to remember, do they like to board Chalice against us? I know some of the zoo decks have boarded Chalice against us, so kind of a weird one. But I'm going to board out the Skullcrack. Skullcrack's kind of a band-aid card in that it only really quote-unquote buys you a turn. I think we try even without Wear Tear in our hand just because this is such a reasonable hand, and they could literally be mulliganing to the combo. So Do not. Turn off auto yield, you stupid thing. Almost passed through my turn. Obviously, if they have Scion here and we don't draw Wear Terror, then we're just dead, basically. We'll give it a turn or two, because we're not just dead on the spot currently, but Chalice. Okay. That's what I thought. They do like to board Chalice against us. Nope, just Brawler. Alright, so apparently we're going to have to mulligan to one of our 4 copies of Wear Tear. Yes, I'd like to play first. Keeping this hand. Okay. Alright, lands will be nice. Mm-hmm. All right. Opponent plays nothing. Okay, I guess we go to combat first. I have no idea what they could even have here that would play around anything. Bolt? Sure. Alright, got the... Alright, 5th and final match. Yes, I would love to play first. This hand could quickly run out of gas, but we'll risk it for the biscuit, I guess. Do at least have a redraw, so... Bloop. Feels force of negation. Ah, Murktizzle for shizzle. See, part of me would have been tempted to well, if there was ever a good card to draw on this spot, it would probably be Eidolon. So I suspect if they had a bolt that they probably wouldn't have they have a subtlety here? Indeed they do. I think we leave that card on top. Opponent's now got somewhat a difficult decision. Presumably they have a bolt or a unholy heat here. We know they have a force of negation in hand. So we'll feel free to attack first. Mm-hmm. All right. Murktide. Seems likely. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and pass turn. Okay, opponent believes they can win this race. Mm-hmm. Presume they're going to negation this one. Subtlety. Alright, well. Is what it is. Need to draw Boros Charm and our opponent to brick on the fact that they have Force of Negation in their hand. Alright, moving on to game 2. Bring this in, bring that in. Nope. Nope. No. Murktide has historically been a rather rough matchup last year and a half or so as the Murktide players figured out the matchup, so. And not having a second copy of Exquisite Firecraft here kind of punishes us a little bit, but. Okay, yes, I'd like to be on the play. Sure, we'll risk it, I guess. Problem is, we're not even sure if we're up against a little. If we're up against Murktide or if we're actually up against Wizards. You're a wizard, Harry. I'm gonna say turn 1 subtlety. Presume they target themselves. Land, please. Land, please. Thank you. We might be getting 2Q here with our bolts. So. Sure. Hopefully you don't have force of negation to back this up. That would be unfortunate. It's interesting that they're pitching an EI. Let's go. G6. You're dead to a land. You're dead to any spell in my hand resolving. So. Sure. Hey, we're the monkeys. There's an exquisite firecraft. Force of negation can't save you now. Still not a huge fan of these Eidolons, but Eidolons being drawn. Actually, let's get 2 of these out and get these skull cracks back in. Not a huge fan of either configuration, but Eidolon's significantly worse on the draw. This hand is awkward and clunky and doesn't really do a whole lot. This hand isn't fantastic, but I do think we keep it. Okay, so opponent's debating whether they're leading on fetch land or other land. Go. We are going to need to draw lands to have a chance this game. That was one thing for the other hand, is at least it had lands, right? Dashing Monkey or EI? Dashing Monkey. Got it. Of course, they unfortunately exile a land. Let's knock it out of the side if Dashing Monkey is their best course of action. It's like, what if they have a bolt? Then my whole turn's wasted. Alright, let's confidently assume we'll draw land. Counterspell Shocker. Land. Alright, once again, hoping to the Force of Negation, gods, you don't have it. Okay, opponent passes doing nothing. We also pass, quote unquote, doing nothing. And if they have Pierce, they have Pierce, but I don't think... I think they would have played the Monkey turn a little bit differently if they actually had Pierce, so... Okay, opponent hits us for 3. Alright, got the 5-0, nice. Alright, so we're here with a quick wrap with Boros Burn. Been a minute since we've actually played Burn. I think it's been a couple weeks. Yeah, deck has felt reasonable again. Certainly went through a down period there. The format's opened back up a little bit, and since the two big Burn pilots, Burn God and Lord Beerus, have kind of developed versions that beat decks like Zoo and have a chance against decks like Amulet. It really feels like Burn, especially since it drops further and further down the rankings of decks that are played, and people are respecting it less. It feels like Burn might be in a reasonable position again, especially as decks like Creativity, Murktide, Living End, Rhinos, Scam work themselves back into the mix. Burn is not terribly positioned right now. I don't think it's a deck that I would still want to play in a big event, but it's still reasonable enough in leagues, FNMs, etc. It's had some of its better performances late for us, mainly working off of Lord Beerus's lists. The 2 Chalices I'm kind of mid on. Honestly, probably wish I had a second Exquisite Firecraft this league. 1 Chalice I think is fine, just as a hedge against, different Cascade decks, basically. Rest of the sideboard, I mean, it's kind of self-evident what they're for. Sanctifiers for Scam, Vortexes for, Omnath piles, Cascade decks. The 4 Wear Tear, I mean, that's just kind of necessary tech against Zoo. Yeah, nice to get the 5-0, second 5-0 of the quarter. So we've done that. I think the last 3 quarters we've at least gotten 2 5-0s. So once again, if you do like Burn content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you for next week's video.